Only bougie people get to drink key lime.
I'm super bougie.
I don't get key lime.
I can't afford it.
Yeah, it's 50 extra cents.
Oh, is it?
No, it's not. I think
never,
it's the same
okay.
price.
I was like, I never noticed.
It's like, I don't have wife privilege, so what we'll have to figure out. I definitely have white privilege, but
I have key lime privilege.
If I had
Indeed.
true wife privilege, I would just order cases of Topo Chico lime. That would be.
I gotta tell you, I'm not impressed by Topo Chico.
It's
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
right. You had your first one this last
I had
week.
my first one, and I it didn't do much for me. It didn't move the needle.
Also, before we drop in, happy birthday on air, because that just happened over the weekend.
I have
Shane.
floating balloons still behind me to mark my passage into death, so it'll be delightful.
Did you have a good show on Saturday? Because you played a solo set, right? And then you played bass.
I
as
did.
well.
I played baseball. Yes.
Nice. How'd it go?
I was a shortstop. It was really fantastic. I got everybody out in the one inning.
I love it.
Yes. And then I hit on the third base coach. But no, it was a good time. Courtney was there. Michael was there.
Nice.
Much like the podcast, the only thing missing was you.
Well, I didn't think you'd miss me that much, so
I mean, I do tend to miss you, almost despite myself. I am a glutton for punishment. I'm also a glutton for key lime. And speaking of keys, I have to correct myself for the third father-fucking time now, and that Tool song is actually Lost Keys.
Oh,
parenthetical, blame Hoffman. Not frickin' I just give up.
I want to say that just because I'm about to say this doesn't mean that the terrorists win, but we can talk a little bit amongst ourselves, not to say the other people's needs on what to do on our show, because we get to decide what we do. But I feel like last week, as a listener for the second time, like authentic, like I had no idea, like it's not like I was in the session, like I just had to listen like a normal person.
It's the only time he's ever done it.
Man, Shane, you really get robbed on references if I'm not here to catch them for you.
I will. I really appreciated your running commentary and chastising these fools for not being hep to my lingo.
I think the most offensive one was the Jefferson airplane just flying
agree.
right over their heads. I yelled out loud. I was cleaning my kitchen. I yelled like, Jefferson airplane.
In my head, I was like, I can raise a ruckus and make this a thing, or I can just let it go and leave it to the listeners to bring me up and build me up, Buttercup. Well, and you did it.
You ended your decade as a kinder, gentler person, so I feel like now that you're in a new decade, you can really set it off. You can really pop off now.
I'm gonna lay into the curmudgeonly fuck, and I'm just gonna sit in that pocket.
You're officially at the age where being a misanthrope's accepted.
And much like the quote that Courtney gave me.
Yes.
For my birthday, yes. How did I get so, fucking old so fast? It's delightful.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good to be back.
Well, now that we've cleaned out the closet, so to speak, we can clean something else out by saying, "Hi, all cum slingers," and welcome to another stirring installment of the Disinformed podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
We don't have to have a pregnant pause for you anymore, John. It's much nicer to have you around.
I did like the little pause of Michael's there. It felt like he actually cared and missed me a little bit. And then I really felt represented throughout that episode too, because then he insulted my intelligence as per usual.
Yeah.
There's multiple times where it's like, well, John's probably not going to get it because he gets dropped off at work, if you know what I mean. Like.
In my own defense, I did call you dead weight at one point in the course of the recording, I think, but that was on the After Dark.
The thing is that I've expected it now. One, because I've just known you for a while, and then two, because I have been gone for an episode before. So when I listened to the first episode that I was gone, I listened to it. It's like, do these guys even like me?
I've had this conversation before, actually addressing the Michael situation prior to, him saying his friends are going to unfriend us on Facebook if we don't treat him better. It's like we are Ballbusters Incorporated over here. Like part of the joy of being associated with one another is we razz each other almost, unconscionably.
It gives you a little bit of a superpower where you can just take the like the serious part of that, and you can really hyper focus it to people that deserve it.
I shouldn't have done this because now these freaking balloons are gonna keep floating in and out. I'm either got like Pennywise or the weird cat from Watchmen, the series.
God, so for the listeners, he does have obnoxiously large birthday balloons in his office behind him.
To give the context, that is what made my day. On my birthday, my mother showed up at my door with 3 enormous balloons, and she couldn't even fit them through the door. So that officially just cackling at her, not even be able to see me, made my day.
That's
just
fucking
absolutely
adorable.
completed the circle. Bless her. So thank you, Sherry. My mother has started listening to the podcast, and I'm not sure if she's ever going to recover. In particular, she was not anywhere near as enamored with the Bristol stool scale as I thought she would have been, and so I'm a little bereft. I had hoped it would have been just up her alley or down her alley, depending.
To Shane's mom, I'd like to apologize that this is the context in which you've gotten to know me the most intimate.
Sorry, Sherry.
I'm looking forward to her asking me why I constantly allude to having coital relations with Linda.
Am I not good enough, Shane?
That's a conversation I'm sure that we can have at some point.
Oh, God. Also, I found out that one of Becky's patients' parents listens to the show, which was very surprising to me. So if you're listening this far, hello. I don't think I've ever met you in person, but she's like, yeah, I just don't know how. I told them like offhand that you had a podcast and what it was because they asked the name, and then I came back a week later and they I don't remember exactly what she said. I was like, I'm sure they're having a blast with how appropriate the show is. Like, yeah,
certainly.
They definitely made some comments on some abrasiveness.
Considering that our new hashtag pull quote is "cancel me, daddy," I think that that should give you some sort of indication of what's going to happen here. And by the way, this is fan service to Dewan, because we are now at least 7 minutes into this show, and we're still just talking about life and love.
That's because I want there to be hope and happiness before we get into the meat of today.
This is your hide, Nick.
Yeah, before things go foul, if you will.
Oh God.
I'm gonna gobble this goddamn episode up. I'll tell you that much.
Because
let's talk turkey.
This is the day before Thanksgiving, and this might be the last year it happens. But I feel I asked you guys, and you told me yes to let me continue the tradition and present a Thanksgiving topic today.
It's going to be groovy, and we're prepared to get all the stuffing in. But before that, in case you are unfamiliar with our usual protocols here, Michael, stop shaking your head at my puns. They're delightful, and folks come here for the puns.
And come
I'm
in general.
surprised you didn't say it's all gravy instead of it's all groovy.
Well, you're the one who's into the gravy, you fucking pervert.
I'm going to drink your blood like cranberry sauce, meanie.
What the fuck?
John's going to give you the gravy, baby. You're so ready for it.
You are my little gravy baby now.
As I said, we're going to country fry your ass. But for those of you unfamiliar with how we normally format the show, is typically we delve into a random esoteric topic here, and in the course of explaining it to one another, we lie about it. It's a lot of fun. But don't worry, you will not leave the episode fully disinformed. We have a denouement at the end to explain what we were, throwing in as unexpurgated untruths, as it were. And we will not let you leave in a state of oblivion, unlike Michael.
Huh?
Where am I? What year is it?
Is
Nixon still present?
Wow. You guys are disgustingly
Is
adorable.
my stepdaughter still coating herself in Victoria's Secret essences to allure me?
I definitely don't say that.
My name
Oh
is
no,
Michael.
your future wife said it. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Love and kisses, Destiny. It's a good time seeing y'all tripping balls. But anyway,
She doesn't remember the rest of that night.
I
I'm
believe
amazed
that
you do.
wholeheartedly.
Can you put a bookmark on that and we can end after the top? Can we
Certainly.
palate cleanse
Okay.
with that story?
Yeah, trust
yes.
fall.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a meat thermometer. Yeah, we're gonna stick a meat thermometer in the Destiny
my
story,
God.
so it'll pop back up like a red nipple by the end of the show. But John is going to bring us the glorious follow-up to his fabulous episode of ThanksKilling, and we're gonna get caught up with what the strange turkey fucker has been doing over the past few years.
I'm going to to borrow something from Henry Zabrowski.
Who's
and
that?
I'm gonna say he's a
Chlamydia?
co-host of Last Pod on the Left. I'm gonna say, if you're listening right now, crack a beer, drink a Shane Weiser, smoke something, because it's only going. Thank you. It's way more tolerable if you have something inside of you.
I'm gonna crack into a Shane Weiser.
Because if
y'all want a
thought-
Shane Weiser as well, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
If you
So
thought-
I'm Steve Austin. He's Hulk Hogan. I am curious who the rest of us shake out at.
got ourselves a real away team brewing. Because if you thought that the John Benet Ramsey case was hard to close, you might
No.
not be ready for this episode.
No, it's happening again. No.
Thank you for the callback.
Well-
That just made my night.
Marketed as the only movie to ever skip its own sequel. Oh, there's Courtney with a beer. Yes.
Man,
There's
and
so
I
many
opened mine,
tops
like,
getting popped.
5 minutes ago.
Oh, you're fine.
It's not tits giving, as John said.
I actually do have that in the script. So, anywho, marketed as the only movie to ever skip its own sequel, ThanksKilling 3 was released in 2012, and oh boy, you thought the first installment was bad. Last
2012, you say?
year, 2012 indeed.
Oh my lord!
The world was supposed to end, and it should have with the release of this movie.
God,
Is
I
that
hope.
bullshit?
Amen.
It is not bullshit.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna
should-
just call bullshit on your number lies since I know
There's
that's your
there's
MO.
four lies today.
Okay.
Kudos.
So last year we established that ThanksKilling was the worst movie I had ever seen, and then on that episode, if you go back and listen, I warranted a guess that Kristen might agree, and she did. I slipped in a lie last year about it being the sequel being kickstarted and having a big budget, and it's actually true.
Not true.
Well, no. So the first one was done for $3,500. This sequel is done for I think like $135,000 after the Kickstarter.
Oh
And
God.
that, and
Oh.
that- and that
Wow.
is true. So there's no lies right now. Like that is the only like production thing I found for the movie.
Okay. I thought you would have said like $4,500. They mammothly
Yeah.
increased their budget.
Now I'm gonna spare everybody previously on because it's not important to the story, and also there's so much to get into. Because as I was telling the guys pre-roll, not a lot of plot summaries for this movie exists online, kind of like Shane with Deathbed. So it took 3 hours to watch an hour and a half movie. You know?
God.
Also, furthermore, I'll remind everybody, if you wanted to figure out what happened previously, there's another episode in the archives
Exactly.
you can go access right now. We'll notice when you do it. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
We'll
All I-
even wait for you.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
wait.
Just
okay,
hit the
go
pause
ahead.
button.
Put it on pause.
Yeah.
See you in 2 hours.
And
Welcome
welcome,
back.
Oh, fuck. We're back to It's Dingo and the Baby in the morning.
How was episode 67, guys?
All I can hope for at this time is that this is the last time that I have to talk about this franchise until, of course, the Shudder series gets released, which is going to be god-awful. Now, before we
shudder at the thought.
proceed, I have to remind you that it is, Shane, called Thanksgiving, not Titsgiving.
Well,
See, it was
we
right
can
I
there.
like
still-
that attitude.
Okay.
We'll milk that joke as it comes.
Are you ready to get to the stuffing?
I
Stuff
am.
me, daddy.
Yeah, spread those turkey legs.
Ooh, just like the John Benet Ramsey case.
Oh, God.
Who spread John Benet Ramsey?
We're still trying to figure it out.
No,
On
the brother
toast.
did it. Come on, guys.
I just know who killed Brittany Murphy. I don't know what the hell happened to John Benet Ramsey.
Just fentanyl?
No, my love.
Anyway, the movie opens on a literal close-up of a titty, just like in the first movie. They have a filter on the screen that makes it very 80s sci-fi, and the camera pans out to show these sandbags belonging to a rather attractive blonde astronaut floating in space. Holes have been cut out of the suit so that her boobs are just hanging out in space.
Now, can we talk about what the vacuum of space would do to an exposed titty?
Exactly.
Liquefy me.
So the blonde astronaut looks very confused, and then out of coming into frame from a distance is a a spacecraft that is almost a perfect hybrid of a turkey baster mixed with an X-wing fighter from Star Wars.
Okay.
And riding this spacecraft is Turkey, who shoots lasers at her, and then crudely, when the lasers hit her, she is torn in half. But it's like a comical tearing in half. Like it just looks like they took like an animation of her and just tore it like paper. Literal, looks like she just gets torn in half by like a piece of paper. No gore, no nothing, and then she just like zippity zoops out of the screen. After this happens, which also he delivers his signature line from the first movie, "Nice tits, bitch." Another spacecraft arrives, flown by a literal pumpkin pie named Pilot.
No.
And that is true, and it is a puppet. It's another puppet.
Good.
So at this
That is
point,
the aspect that absolutely like stymied me seeing this. Is the volume of puppetry involved in
Yes.
making this film. I was not ready.
So at this point, we know that shit's going down in space. And that is my series arc for Fast and Furious movies. Like, that's what I always want. Like, I'll follow a franchise till they hit space. Like, if they start on Earth and they get to space, that's where I'm good and gone. But I want to see it through till that.
Would you be gone in 60 seconds? That's the question.
I could be with my Eleanor.
Are you gone, girl?
Fincher, please. But it was all a trap because it's all a misdirect. The camera pulls back and it shows that you've been watching ThanksKilling 2 on a TV set, while a voiceover explains important lore that Thanksgiving 2 was actually made into a movie. However, it was received as the literal worst movie ever made, and every copy was destroyed, or so they thought. One copy, like the One Ring, survived, and Turkey will stop at nothing to find it. This is all within the first 3 minutes of the movie, by the way.
Well, yeah, you got to, set up the lore.
So then, very much a 2012 piece, it pulls into an intro scene with Skrillexy music in the background, like action movie dubsteppy stuff, like where all the credits are rolling. And meanwhile, in the back, there's a montage of gassed military men driving to the middle of a desert to drop off truckloads and truckloads of copies of ThanksKilling 2 that they're setting on fire with flamethrowers. They leave, credits end. A very expensive looking CG shot happens where a vortex kind of like funnels from space down onto the ground. And two beings are in the middle of the desert now, and one looks like the Predator without dreads or a budget.
So Pussyface.
Basically, although you never see his face, like the mask, it kind of reminded me of like Power Rangers a little bit too.
Okay.
And on his shoulder is a puppet earthworm that the longer you look at him kind of resembles Hitler.
What?
Is that bullshit?
No. So again, I watched this movie in multiple parts. I started it yesterday and I finished it today, but I for my sanity, I took it in 30-minute chunks because I was also writing alongside it.
Necessary.
And near the end of the movie, it hit me. I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like he has the hard part, and his hair's thinning, and then he has that mustache kind of look. And this is all again on a crude puppet.
Michael's Hitler. You just pointed it out to me.
I don't have a pencil mustache.
Hold on. If you hold on, stay exactly where you are. Yeah, if you did it, you look exactly like Hitler.
If the hatred's burning in your eyes well enough.
That's because that's the light reflecting off of my glasses because I can't see shit.
Fucking thing sucks.
Are you a proctologist?
Nowadays, dude. No.
I mean, otherwise, why
On a
do you
good
want to
day.
see shit?
Well, I usually give them an enema before so I don't see shit. It helps a lot.
Oh,
It's
it's
the
everything
enema of the
nice
state.
and smooth.
Yeah.
Wow,
Easy
that is
access.
a pull. What's my age again? So in this continually, I'm skipping ahead because I got excited. So these characters, so the
Blink-182 reference. I got it.
Predator without the dreads. Later on in the film, I'm just gonna give him the names now. His name is Muff, and the Earthworm's name is Rhonda. In this,
this strikes me as like someone's bad acid flash on a Friday night and a bucket of bad KFC, and this is what manages to manifest.
dude, just wait.
My name's
Okay.
Muff.
They have a similar relationship, I noted, like Han Solo and Chewbacca, where Muff doesn't really talk or intelligibly talk, and Rhonda is like the one with the chemistry translating what Muff means.
Okay.
Okay, and also the thing about Rhonda is that there's hundreds of terrible puns in this movie, and I decided to spare you guys most of them because they're not
Damn
fun.
it.
They're not fun.
Thank you.
They're so bad, and the reason that they're bad is because it's meta puns. Like they're making the puns, and then inside of the writing, people and other characters are acknowledging how bad the puns are. So then it kind of ruins. Like I like a good pun. I like a good bad pun that's not acknowledged by other characters to be bad. The writing's just bad, and they don't know that it's bad. You know.
So, for instance, someone asks Rhonda to help them.
Like, oh, can you give me a hand? And then Rhonda's like, oh, that's funny because I don't have a hand.
You guys are basically writing the other sequel to the movie.
Okay.
Michael,
Yeah,
do you
I
understand what I was saying?
Yes. I want to explain it in the way that they would have written it.
I don't think he understands.
No? Oh, no. I was thinking something a little more tame, I guess.
Tame?
Tame.
Like your hair?
No, okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Shano, take me away.
Indeed.
So from the desert, we jump to what I described kind of like a Family Matters-esque living room. And for the youngins here, Family Matters was a sitcom. So you could just say sitcom, I guess.
Did I do that?
Yes. So inside of this sitcom house, Turkey's sitting on a sofa watching TV. In front of him is a birthday cake. It's his 514th birthday. And on the TV, they cut to these infomercials like 100 times in the movies. And the first one you see is, I think his name's it's Meow something. It's stupid. It's essentially like a gay cat detective is an infomercial that he's watching. It's like this gay cat that'll solve mysteries for you. And then following that infomercial, there's an ad for Big Seagull Taxi, which is literally a taxi service ran by a gigantic seagull that you can ride on its back. So Turkey's married at this point, and he has a wife, and he has a young son named Giblet. And in a very moving scene, Giblet gets some birthday cake baby birded to him by his mother. And by that, I mean he literally gets frosting vomited all over him. Keep in mind, again, just like the first movies, all the puppets are varying degrees of crude, and I think they kind of triage it based on how many lines that they have or like how prominent they're going to be. So Giblet doesn't get the star treatment. He has very clear, visible, hanging strings. And no moving mouth. Like,
Oh, no wonder his mom vomited all over him. He didn't have anywhere to eat it.
So Giblet, after getting baby birded, goes to play with his Easy Bake Oven. That's not an Easy Bake Oven. Instead, it's called the Pluckmaster 3000. And as he's playing with it, the infomercial for the Pluckmaster 3000 goes on the TV, and the TV advertisement. Is that how you say it, Shane?
Advertisement.
Advertisement explains
Yes.
that for just 3 payments of $69.69, you can own your very own Pluckmaster, which is just the end-all be-all for plucking and stuffing turkeys.
No, that's a lie.
Is that commercial bullshit? Is the whole idea of the Pluckmaster 3000 bullshit?
No, the Pluckmaster exists. You guys are sniffing in the right place, though.
No, is the price a lie?
The price is a lie. It's 3 payments of $39.99.
While we're on a pause as well, I also want to say, is he actually 514 years old?
Yes, they're
okay.
But it has the reason that I know that is because they put the number candles on there.
It's not like 500 some odd.
No.
Candles.
All right. Well, Courtney, you were chastising John. Don't let me
well,
impede
if
you.
he hadn't literally just sent me a Snapchat of somebody ringing up $69.69 at his bar, then this lie might have got passed.
Yeah, that's very fair. It was really hard not to send you guys more things from the movie.
Also, infomercials are actually like one of my guilty pleasures.
They can be comforting in a weird way.
I think they are hysterical, and like especially the cooking ones, like they're usually 100% inaccurate, and I love every moment of it.
Do you like the actors that go over the top, where they're like they accidentally spill something, they make it like a gigantic mess?
Yeah, like that's exactly how you would use something, and then you need our product.
Yeah, I love those. I watch GIFs of those all day.
Well, see, we're also hearkening back to the fact that I, unlike many of you here, existed at a time when infomercials were the only form of entertainment that one could find at certain times of the day.
That was right after the wheel was invented.
Exactly, yes. Oh, we'll get into this in one of my upcoming episodes about programming. And yes, the wheel, how I created it.
Well, it caused a wheel.
That's what I hear.
But also, if you do order now from the infomercial, they'll throw in a special carver, which not only is good for carving turkey, but allegedly could even cut through trees, according to Uncle Donnie, who it's Uncle. The full name is Uncle Donnie's Pluckmaster 3000, and Uncle Donnie, the actor, looks like a budget version of H. John Benjamin, it's the dude from Archer and Bob's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
So, so he jumps on screens. I described him as like a colonial-looking Billy Mays, to say.
No, I'm picturing like Billy Mays wearing like a pilgrim outfit.
You're fucking nailing it. Then.
Oh my god!
Rest in peace.
Rest in pepperonis, as
R.I.P.
Michael would say.
More like rest in OxyClean. So
that's how they got him in the casket.
I'm going to preface this by saying that I am just reading from a script. I'm not going to drop any big words. There's no big words in the movie, but I'm just...
Oh, damn it.
H. John Benjamin, budget guy, jumps on the screen and says, "Call now, and like the Indians, I'll give you a Louisiana Purchase-sized deal."
I have several issues with that.
I bet. You should. It's not a good thing to write.
Aside from the understandable issues...
It was.
We bought it from the French.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Therein lies that line bullshit?
It's not. No, I wouldn't write that. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know. Maybe someone told you that. Maybe
He's not Shane.
I'm not a good writer, and I'm not a bad writer, and I'm not a good writer. I couldn't make it up, and I could barely move my dumb fat fingers on the keyboard to write the script.
Between fighting dogs away from his dick,
which, by the way, my dick is fine, guys. Thanks.
Yeah,
for
how's your bruise? Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine. It's limp as always now, so it's back to normal.
Thank God.
Checks out.
So the infomercial ends and cuts to the news. So we've been watching the TV on this like for more than we've been watching the actual movie at this point. It switches to the news, which reinforces and reiterates again that ThanksKilling 2 has been destroyed, except for one copy. And it elaborates that the reason it was such a terrible movie was that they made the sequel to appeal to a wider audience, so they targeted it for kids. So it was very clean, and then also it was the first movie to be shot 100% in space.
Is that a lie?
That's not a lie.
Because if it literally had her tits out, how was it made for children?
I know.
They feed them.
Well, that's the thing. You're a master of your own continuity, and this movie forgets that. So. There's no continuity. So Turkey's watching this in real time, and apparently this is the first time that he's realized that his movie was canned, and he utters, "That plucking sucks." And he turns to his wife, learning that his movie was destroyed. He flies into a fury and kills his poor turkey wife, who didn't want him to find out on his birthday. She even offers to gobble his balls, but he still goes through and he axes her in half. He then turns on Giblet, his son, and approaches him menacingly, saying, "When I got the call from your mom in space saying she'd laid you, I told her, put that egg out in the hot sun, bitch. Let it sit till it cracks. Hoping some lizard would come along and slurp up your rotten yolk." But she didn't believe in that. Instead of killing his son, though, he instead offers to take him under his wing to be evil like his dear old dad, which Giblet accepts.
Okay. Can I ask one thing before you continue, though? Because it's easy to get into a rhythm here.
Yes.
She doesn't offer to gobble his balls, does she?
She does.
Son of a bitch.
So this scene ends with them going on their version of a hero's quest to get the tape.
Yeah, it really changes the meaning of gobble till you wobble.
I've never heard that until right now. I have something new to ask my wife.
Daddy, who is my daddy? Yeah. Let's go on a quest.
So I will note, and I kind of touched on it, that with the inflated budget, actually having a budget instead of what they had in their collective bank accounts. It actually does look like it was shot on a real camera this time. Like the production value, like some of the production value. At the very least, it doesn't look like it was shot on an iPhone 5, which is welcomed. So the next scene opens in an alleyway. It goes inside of a dumpster, and inside of the dumpster is this female puppet. It looks very Jim Henson, and in the credits, I didn't write it down, but they mentioned an actual like puppeteering company. Like they designed this puppet, and her name is Yomi, Yomi. Yomi.
Okay.
Never.
We'll go with it.
Yep.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. So it's at this point in the movie, which again is probably like 20 or 25 minutes, I was like, holy fuck, they're actually going to lean in, and this is going to be a puppet movie. Like, the moment that I saw a Jim Henson-esque puppet, I was like, holy fuck, this is a puppet movie. And if I'm counting it correctly, there's only 3 literal humans in the entire movie. Everything else is puppetry. Whether it's good puppets or bad puppets, like I said, depending on the amount of lines. But while
there's some pretty ghastly ones based on the video you shared with us.
I did indeed share a pretty bad one with you guys. I would encourage everyone to watch that part too, if you can find if I could find a YouTube link, maybe I'll put that in the show notes for you guys. But I don't know if I can find it. But the sources for this, which I should have mentioned, is literally just the movie. You can rent it for $4 on YouTube. I would recommend you don't. While still inside the dumpster, we learn that Yomi's lost her mind literally, and she's on a quest to find her mind. A very weirdly seated animation plays out again, like the infomercial, and it's the same gay cat. Oh, his name's Meowmer. And he's saying that he can solve her problems and help her find what she's missing or point her in the right direction. And the animation style I've noted here is kind of like Schoolhouse Rock, like how a bill is made.
Oh, okay.
At the end of this little spiel, he hacks up a hairball, and inside of the hairball is the last copy of ThanksKilling 2. As she gets out of the dumpster, Uncle Donnie from the infomercial happens to be leaving what I imagined is his apartment. And Yomi, after chatting with Uncle Donnie, decides to tag along with him as he promised to show her Thanksgiving. She thinks she literally lost her mind, and maybe her mind went to Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving as a tangible thing that I don't know.
Okay.
So another note that I have here, I'm glad that I put this, I would have forgotten. I do have a theory about Michael. And I think that Michael voiced Yomi because it is almost a 1-for-1 of your Ebony voice.
Oh, it's just all falsetto and all bad.
Oh God!
In fact, I'll give you a line later, and
Okay.
you'll just say it in your voice, and I'll tell you how close you are.
I am so excited to be the voyeur in watching one of these things made.
So, meanwhile, in the air above, we cut to see Turkey and Giblet.
Nope.
Why, John?
Oh no! Oh no!
When is it going to be my time, Lord?
I like to think he's actually just sitting there waiting.
He's very engaged. You know what's nice is he's probably still continuing, and so his audacity's just picking him up, and he's like, why aren't they laughing?
We're probably just staring intently. He's like, oh, okay, they're paying attention. He's going back to it. Oh, no.
And there it goes. Oh, no. Okay, well, welcome back. We were very excited.
Thank you.
You still were intently reading, as your frozen photo would tell us. So we're excited
I
to see where it
remember.
goes.
Yeah, I remember where we. Well, I had it pulled up here, so I can take it from. This is actually at the perfect time for it to be fucked up. Okay.
Oh, good.
Meanwhile, in the air above, we get to see Turkey and Giblet riding on a fucking seagull, part of the very own Big Seagull Taxi. Turkey laments their inability to fly and that his main regret in life is that he can't shit on people from the sky. After reiterating how hard it will be to find the copy of his sequel, Turkey gets agitated and pushes Giblet off of the seagull.
No!
A tiny censored bar is then shown on the screen as a comical amount of gore and viscera is strewn on the pavement. Giblet's small head pokes through it, and in the middle of the goop asks, "Daddy, are there playgrounds in heaven?" Turkey shrugs this off and instead tells his son that he just needs him for his soul. And then we see a CGI vapor eject from Giblet, as it implies Turkey is now controlling his son's soul as like kind of like a telepathic camera. Like it's sending him out to find what he needs.
Okay.
So here is where it gets wacky.
Here's where it gets wacky.
Okay.
All right. That's a mile marker I wish we didn't pass, but...
Yeah, this is what I teased yesterday with you guys.
Okay.
The movie then drops us into an old wooden colonial-feeling home, and we get a nice little setup shot of an old woman, of course a puppet, sitting in a wheelchair. She wears Beats headphones, hater blockers, and uses what appears to be a 2-liter bottle as a receptacle for her catheter. Her name is Floey. It zooms in close on this nightmare puppet, and she starts to rap along to a tape played from a boombox attached to her wheelchair.
Hell yeah.
She's abruptly interrupted by her son, who she calls Tit Dirt Jefferson, who stops the playback.
This is also someone who is dressed in colonial Williamsburg-esque sort of attire.
Yes, he's wearing a wig the whole nine, and he's scolding her for using technology in the house. He's a colonial impersonator and wants to be historically accurate, so no boombox is allowed. And you guys did see this clip, but he brandishes what he calls a long pike, but it's clearly pointed out multiple times that he's just carrying around a broom with a butter knife taped to the end of it. So him and his mother argue, and the main argument is the clip that I sent you guys, where she's talking about how many dicks she's had in her life, and he's kind of just being like, this is what I get from my mom. And I will say, like, that scene in general, like, from the setup to that conversation, I thought was authentically funny, and it reminded me of, like, early South Park. Like, seasons 1, 2 South Park, just as far as, like, the crude and absurdity of it.
As in, Mom, Kitty's being a dildo. I know certain Kitty who's sleeping with Mommy tonight.
Exactly. You can definitely tell that these people are influenced by, I can't think of their fucking, Matt and Trey? Matt and Trey.
Trey
Stone. Nope.
And somewhere people are yelling at me.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Floey, and this is past what you guys have seen. Floey believes that God called on her to be a rapper, and the reason that she dresses the way that she does is because God wants her to, and that when she gets to heaven, she's going to get on her knees and give God a good old slob knob.
Hell yeah.
She repeatedly is seen sniffing her fingers, to which Jefferson eventually snaps and tells her, and this is a direct quote, that she needs to stop doing that D'Angelo shit where she sniffs her own pussy. Fucking killed me. It's gay.
She's living her best life.
But
I can appreciate that.
But seriously, throughout, like, and it probably takes about like 6 minutes of the actual movie of like her, like you see it randomly, you're just going, and then finally she's like, Mom, you gotta stop doing that shit where you sniff your own pussy. Like, I don't know why that's what got me the best, but like that made me laugh out loud when it happened because I was not expecting it to get addressed. Uncle Donnie and Yomi enter. It's established that Donnie and Jefferson, if not related, are very close to each other and are building a theme park together out of this colonial home called Thanksgiving Land. They go into some nauseating details on, there's a gravy train, pumpkin Ferris wheel or some bullshit. It's not important to the movie at all. The movie's not important.
Is it bullshit?
It's not bullshit. I wish it fucking was.
Oh my God, Thanksgiving Land.
Jefferson, so the one who was arguing with his mother earlier, is the self-appointed head of security, and Donnie seems to be the actual brains. Yomi, puppet meets puppet, and Yomi asks Floey, what the fuck, god damn it. Oh, actually, yeah, you could say this for me. Michael, can you say in your My Immortal voice, have you seen my mind?
Have you seen my mind?
Fucking nailed it. Floey responds by whipping out a tape cassette and saying, no, but this will blow it. Track 3 will make you shit. It's her mixtape. Her artist name, in case you were wondering, is Sprinkle of Wrinkle, and the album is called Diaper Fillers.
Hell yeah.
It sounds like you wrote this, John. Like, this movie was just written by John.
I would have sworn she was Cardi B. Arthur.
So I know that Shane appreciates good lyrics, and I did it in the Limp Bizkit episode, so I included, they only quote her lyrics this one time, but I had to keep the pull quote. It's, I got glaucoma. I got a Glock. You in a coma. Can't see shit.
And yet she doesn't say, "I'll suck your cock." I'm really, it's disappointing.
Daddy, are there playgrounds in heaven?
Clear the dance floor. Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on.
So while browsing, goddamn, while browsing the house, Yomi stumbles on a big industrial-looking oven that was crudely covered with a sheet. And I'm talking like it. I can't articulate exactly what it looks like, but like it just takes up ceiling or like floor to ceiling whole device.
Okay.
Like very, very like 1800s-esque. And it's has ensigned on the side of it Pluckmaster. So we're to assume this is the original version of what he would simplify later. And
Ooh, Uncle Donnie.
And she asks Uncle Donnie about it, and Jefferson's like, "Stop fucking asking him. It's a sore subject." And he finally snaps. He's like, "I've had enough about this fucking machine. I'm not going to tell you about this machine." So obviously someone died in the machine. Obviously. Like, that's what we have to assume. Also, while she's in the kitchen, Yomi stumbles on puppet cockroaches who tell her that they've seen her mind, and then they just kind of leave it at that. Like, like the mice in Cinderella. They fuck around, find out. In the background, we do see Giblet, like floating as a vapor, observing the whole scene until he sees a copy of ThanksKilling 2 that Yomi
in a
has.
hairball.
Oh yeah, well I think it's clean to the hairball at this point, but yeah.
Well, who picked it up?
I don't fucking know. Not my job. Not my.
Plot
not my.
hole.
Yeah. Listen, this movie's fucking airtight, and if you say one more bad thing about it, Michael, I'm gonna eject you from the Zoom session.
Do it.
I almost wanted to say I'd like to see you try, but I don't want Shane to do that.
No, I'm the one who kicked myself out because my internet connection. So
In the immortal words of Bobby Eaton, you fuck around, and soon you won't be around.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. General slapstick continues until they're interrupted by a knock on the door. Tit Dirt Jefferson goes to answer it, and when he opens the door, he sees a vision of an actual pike, and he's talking to it. He's like, "Oh my God, this pike finally for me! I get a pike!" And he goes to grab it, and then just seemingly is vaporized into a pile of gore by Turkey, who enters, stepping through him, quipping, "It looks like he just quit life cold turkey." Turkey then uses a bread knife to scoop some of Jefferson's guts onto a piece of bread, stating that he is now toast. A fight.
This is quality cinema.
It really
I
is.
want to call bullshit, but I feel like you'd be upset that I'm giving you that much credit.
I would be upset. It's not bullshit. A fight ensues, and by some cosmic fuckery, Nibla's soul actually latches and possesses onto the copy of ThanksKilling 2, the DVD. So now for the rest of the movie, a turkey head that was on the cover of ThanksKilling 2 is actually Giblet. And
I like that you called it Nibla for a second, which just made me really
because,
happy.
That's because with no fanfare at this point in the movie, for the rest of the movie, they never call him Giblet again, and they only refer to him as Nibla. And there's no rhyme or reason.
Oh my God.
So in the middle of this fight, he gets attached to the DVD, and then an oven in the kitchen opens up, and they hear like a cosmic, ethereal voice saying, "Come into the oven." And seeing no other ways to escape, they all enter through the oven into a portal and disappear. We then cut back to the desert where the movie started, and we're reunited with Muff and Rhonda. And they're on the phone, or Rhonda's on the phone, with other alien space worms and asking for them to use their space computers to help them locate the worst movie on Earth. Again, all the worms are puppets, and these ones look even more fake. The mouths don't move. It looks fucking fake.
Couldn't be bothered.
Could not be bothered. Also, I'm sorry if I'm reading this at a real fast clip.
I understand there's a lot of material
No,
to
by
get
all
through.
means.
It could have been 10 pages. The other side of the oven portal drops open, and our heroes fall out into a dead and pale forest. Flowey raps a eulogy for her son, and meanwhile, the grief compels Donnie to confide that the reason he was cagey about the original Pluckmaster is because it led to the death of his wife and daughter. See, last Thanksgiving, he had sent them out to grab more stuffing to put the finishing touches on the Pluckmaster, and he forgot and didn't account that that was a bad one. Facts. Thanks, Michael. stuffing to put the finishing touches on the fact that the machine, or that, let's take that from one.
Woo!
He had sent them out to grab more stuffing to put the finishing touches on the machine, but didn't account for the fact that not only did humans like stuffing, but wolves also like stuffing. And the wolves mauled, killed, and ate his wife and daughter. Back in the forest, from a brush, a different turkey emerges and confronts our heroes, and he's crudely dressed as a shaman. He tells them that they are at the gates of the feather world, basically like the pearly gates for turkeys. 100 years ago, wise turkeys guarded the land. Members of the featherin prospered before the hunting, the plucking, and the stuffing plagued us. Thanksgiving separated turkeys into two factions, ones that died and accepted their fate, and others that hated humans. Turkey himself being the most evil and kept alive by a Native American curse. After
Noted.
sharing this story, he gives Yomi a wishbone, which she thinks is just a mini boomerang. He instructs Donnie to protect her with his life and tells Yomi to follow the wishbone to find her mind. They do all the echo effects with their own voice, by the way.
Oh, okay.
They
That's
trail-
classic.
As you do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He then disappears, leaving behind his robes, just like fucking Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. It's like it's literally, it's too close to not be intentional. Whew. How are you doing, guys?
This is as delightful as I expected it would be.
Okay, you could have just said bad. So against,
I'm riveted.
I've never done drugs before, so essentially this is the closest facsimile I have to dropping acid.
So
is watching you take me through bad cinema.
oh man,
Blow by blow.
Yeah, that'll happen. Against their will, they're then zapped back to the old cabin, which at this point, it's not a good movie, obviously, but there's even some things that are just too bad for this movie to be in the movie, and this is one of the sections where what I think they're trying to do is like an Evil Dead 2 meets Nightmare on Elm Street, like lucid dreaming, flashback, LSD trancey thing. Do you know what I'm
Okay.
getting at? Where like the screen's warbling and I think they're supposed to be questioning the nature of their own reality, but that's thinking a little too far into this stupid movie. But it essentially they drop right back in to the fire of the fight. You know, so they're getting back into it with Turkey. Things are about to get desperate inside of they're getting to a desperate point where they're about to lose, and lo and behold, our aliens burst through the door. Rhonda and Muff are back. I said Rhonda the Hitler worm lightens the mood with a topical pun. Looks like the early worm just got the bard.
Yikes.
He also states matter-of-factly that Turkey and Rhonda have had space sex together, and they go as far as to imply that Rhonda at one point was pregnant with Turkey's child. This is later forgotten near the end of the movie when Rhonda teases Turkey for having butt sex with him and that his pee-pee was tragically cut off in an accident.
Okay.
Is that bullshit?
That's not bullshit.
Oh my god.
I don't have enough PP for this maneuver.
Anyway, in this distraction, Uncle Donnie finds an opportunity to turn on the original Pluckmaster, which sucks Turkey into its machinery. Turns out that the Pluckmaster is an actual sentient machine that sounds like Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it narrates plucking and stuffing Turkey before it ejects his corpse out of the house and into the barren front yard near other discorded Turkey corpses.
I'm sorry, John. I can't do that.
It sounded just so like, and there's just like in the first one where I was like, if Shane was watching this with me and we were like picking references that they're throwing in there, I think we would almost be even. So our aliens, Muff and Rhonda, get to know the gang a little bit better. Rhonda confides that while hooking up with Turkey, Turkey confessed to him that while making ThanksKilling 2, he slipped curses into some of the lines in the movie so that anyone and everyone who watched it would be under his spell and die in horrific ways. Rhonda is also filled with more worm puns than you could possibly imagine. There are some fun quips about eating shit, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. And obviously, we can't worm our way out of this.
Yeah.
So
They hatch a plan to use Muff to open a vortex to discard ThanksKilling 2 permanently. And how they use Muff is Rhonda quite literally dives into Muff.
like you do.
So
Checks out.
Rhonda this entire time is writing the shoulder of Muff like a parrot, and he's the mouthpiece. So Muff lays down, and Rhonda jumps off of his back and lands on his butt close to the booty hole, and shoves his worm tail not all the way in, but like pokes it like it's an actual button. And when he pokes the button, a little keypad on Muff's ass cheek pops open, and there's an actual numerical keypad. And Courtney already caught it, so I'm just going to give this up because I wrote the lie here, but you were too hungry for the 6969. So I entered that the code that he enters is 696969696969.
Oh my god.
But there's no way that it's going to get past you now.
And
But-
Michael's butt stuff creeps back in again.
So this, though, the only reason that I actually put the number that he puts in there is because I think this is where my brain, I think I was probably a little stoned at this point, realized why Rhonda looked like Hitler, and it's because the keypad is 9. And he's like, what's the thing? He's like, oh, it's 999999999. I was like, holy fuck, this worm is Hitler.
Oh no.
Oh god.
So once he enters the code, Muff's pants open up. You don't actually see like a alien butthole, but a vortex does explode from Muff's ass.
Naturally.
So Muff is just a conduit. Turkey, meanwhile, is outside. Not good shape. He's just bones. He's clinging to life, but he's somewhat still alive, and he utters a spell that reanimates all the dead turkeys around him, and the turkeys rebuild him better, faster, stronger. They don't say that. That'd be good though. So the dead turkeys rebuild him, but sadly they couldn't find his pee-pee, which he refers to as his gravy chode. Missing a member, he decides to replace what's gone with a chainsaw, because why the fuck not?
Oh.
Wait, why didn't he call it his like gravy boat?
What does your penis look like?
I mean,
He's calling bullshit on your chode.
He does in
Yeah.
fact call it a gravy chode.
He doesn't.
He does call it a gravy chode.
Oh,
Here, I was hoping he was gonna, pick up Giblet off the ground and, put him back from whence he came, pun intended.
you came from here. You can go back in.
Just use the baby head as
well,
the baby head.
No.
I know he's on the
attached to
movie. I'm just saying,
yeah.
you'd hope that he could pull him back out of there. He's a fucking wizard, for God's sakes.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned coming, because the biggest and best fight in the movie happens at this point. Because Turkey goes back into the house, and another it's like Evil Dead. A lot of it takes place inside of this cabin, but Turkey and Flowey confront each other, so it's puppet on puppet action now.
Hi.
And
no.
Flowey taunts Turkey, saying, "Have you ever been camelback riding at Grandma Canyon?" Turkey and
Oh god.
Turkey ambivalently replies back, telling her to suck his chainsaw dick, in that even though she's old, he still kind of gets it up for her a little bit. The fight doesn't go, or it goes probably exactly how I'd expect it to. She doesn't last more than just a second, and just gets chainsawed to the mouth.
Thank God.
Which, while it's happening, Turkey says, now that's some good cranberry sauce."
Such a great opportunity for a gushing granny there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was definitely one. Yeah.
No
in the
question.
rest of the fight, the group takes on a horde of zombie turkeys while struggling to keep possession of the DVD / Nibla away from Turkey. He eventually does overtake Yomi and cuts off her poor little felt arm and snags the disc and jumps into the portal. Yomi is unresponsive after the fight. They're all picking up the pieces, mourning the loss of Flowey for some reason.
Well, she got no bone.
But so Yomi is unrespectful, and Rhonda suggests to Donnie to treat her like a puppet. And they're breaking the fourth wall a little bit, because this entire time Donnie is infatuated. Like the whole movie, there's a little bit of a love thing going on between Donnie and Yomi. Like, he definitely is pining for her and is not realizing she's a puppet. So they break the
He
fourth
wants the
wall.
brainless puppet.
Yep. Breaks the fourth wall and tells Donnie, treat her like a puppet. And that entails him sticking his hand up inside Yomi to move the mouth to get her to be alive again. And it works. And
We've all done it.
Yeah, we've all been there, guys.
Yeah.
This does the trick. They devise a plan to get the DVD back and end this shit for good.
Thank God.
They debate who's going to go through the portal, and lo and behold, it's Yomi and Rhonda that get to go through the oven portal. They come out the other side and find themselves in turkey hell. Rhonda pulls a Michael and remarks, "This creep gives me the place." As they explore the caverns. Love you, buddy. I don't know why I wrote that. I think I was in a dark place.
I can't.
Well, did it give you the creeps?
I don't know whether to feel complimented or insulted.
I feel like that is something you would say that feels really on brand for me.
This creep gives me the place?
I feel like that you would say
I
that to
don't
try, like, if
know.
you were in an uncomfortable situation, that you would try to disarm it by saying something like that.
Oh, I would just say the line. I don't know if
I
would
really
play
do.
around
I
with
could
it.
imagine Michael strolling up to a bar at a very fetching young woman and being like, "What's a place like you doing in a girl like this?"
Okay, yeah. all right,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
now
God.
it all makes sense to me. Yeah, you're right, John.
So, as they explore the caverns, Yomi stumbles onto a group of puppet mice that are playing a game that they affectionately call butt cheesing. So the game of
No, bullshit.
This is true.
No.
So they
I'm gonna
explain
copyright them.
the game to Yomi in case she wants to play with them. And what they do is that at the beginning of every day, they all eat a different kind of cheese, and then throughout the day, they'll
Aw.
sniff each other's asses and try and guess what cheese they ate. And that's butt cheesing. Anyway, I just felt like I had to throw that in there because I thought that Shane would like it.
It sounds like a Tinder date that someone here's had previously.
Certainly. So in the Grand Lair, they find Turkey, and in the it's very like for Shane, the end of Insidious, where they're going through the dream caverns and they come upon the grand cathedral where this guy is in the middle. So in the middle of this
Sharpening claws and
this
shit.
big lair, is an antenna-like device, like pirate radio kind of looking, where they're putting a copy of Thanksgiving 2 or putting Nibla in this contraption to broadcast to every streamable service in the world, so that everybody can see ThanksKilling 2 and that everyone will start slowly dying. Nibla's going along with this at this point, and it cuts to a montage of just a bunch of people viscerally being pulled apart and a lot of Indiana Jones face melting happening,
Mhm.
Rhonda and Yomi confront Turkey, and Rhonda, as mentioned earlier, taunts Turkey about tricking him into having sex with a man-worm, saying, "My abusive stepfather Delworm did take me fishing. He went fishing with me, and I lost my penis to a trout." Turkey had one final trick up his sleeves and calls out Franken-Turkey. However, Franken-Turkey doesn't like being called Franken-Turkey and would prefer that everyone calls him Blarth. It just sounds better, he argues. Like Blarth Brooks, maybe? Rhonda takes point on distracting both big bads so that Yomi can sneak around and grab Nibla / the DVD. They're the same thing. And the trio makes a daring escape through the caverns back out to the oven portal. Sadly, in the escape, Rhonda the Earthworm dies because the portal cuts off his lower half. Muff can't take the news of this, and he isn't too bright and accidentally destroys his own circuitry, killing himself. Oh, yeah, he ends up being an android.
Oh,
kinda-
okay.
I mean, from his
Plot
ass
twist.
opening up, yeah, I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah, a
Sure.
note. Every time a character dies in this movie, it flashes to Tit Dirt Jefferson standing in front of the pearly gates welcoming them, like by name. That is not bullshit. So like
That's
whatever
brilliant, I like that.
whatever like character traits that they have, he'd be like, "Oh, welcome. We have all the shit you could eat up here." Like, or just
Why is it that I want to convert your new porn name to Tit Dirt Jefferson?
I know,
Truly.
right?
Tit Dirt Jefferson is only said once in the movie as he's introed, and that's all I could think of him as the entire time. It just rolls off the tongue.
It's
Well,
reasonable.
that is his name, so it makes sense to think of him as such.
So, in case you guys didn't want to be surprised, Turkey's still alive and he shows up through the portal. But so does the wise shaman Turkey. The Yoda-like
Oh.
Turkey, and he arrives to block or to body block Turkey from our heroes with a staff, saying, "You shall not peck," and then he slams the staff down. And when he slams the staff into the ground, they are wisdom morphed into a 1993 era video game, a la like Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat graphics.
And now we know where the money went.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're in there and they only communicate through text blocks while they're in there with the 8-bit music in the background. Meanwhile, our heroes on the outside are trying to get Muff's vortex back opened to end things, and without
Aren't we all?
without Rhonda there, they're having just a hell of a time, and they can't remember the code. And Uncle Donnie utters my favorite line in the movie, and I think Michael would enjoy this as well. And it's, "I don't have a PhD in ass vortexes."
10 out of 10.
Not with that attitude.
Not in this economy.
Inside the video game, the wise turkey is stalling for as long as he can, much like a Ben Kenobi kind of character. And he lasts as long as he can, but eventually they have to fight, and he fights, and he gets decapitated inside of the game. No, he gets his head cut off inside of the game.
Some sort of succubus?
Succubus.
Gets decapitated.
In the nick of time, the vortex in Muff's ass is opened, creating a funnel of gravity pulling everyone towards it. Uncle Donnie finds a handhold and watches Yomi and Turkey face off 1v1. As a Hail Mary toss, she remembers Chekhov's wishbone and stabs him, yelling him, "I wish you would go fuck yourself." She sends him flying into the vortex, finally gone. So then Yomi takes the Nibla DVD, and she's approaching the vortex. She's going to throw it in, kind of like the One Ring. And then she does have a moment of hesitation because I failed to mention that throughout the movie, her brain is represented and talks to her. But it's like a cloud that looks almost ovarian more than a brain. But it's a puppet brain. But the puppet brain appears to her one last time, telling her that her brain does exist inside of the vortex. So after a tearful goodbye with Uncle Donnie, Nibla and Yomi jump into the vortex, gone forever. And in that moment, and we're nearly there, Rhonda regenerates. He's like, "Oh, you thought this was the first time that this happened?" And then I just turned into Uncle Carl just for Shane.
It's only apt. You've never been happier to die.
You've never been happier to die than you've been in Hoboken. So... I like this sentence. Rhonda regenerates, and using the core of the Pluckmaster, they Iron Man it onto Muff. So they fix the Predator-looking ass motherfucker by deassembling HAL 2000 and making a hybrid machine. It flashes forward a day, and the movie ends showing Uncle Donnie, Rhonda, and Muff continuing building the theme park no one ever asked for, Thanksgiving Land. And that, my friends,
Beautiful.
That was ThanksKilling 3.
Wow.
What just happened to me?
That's how I felt writing it. I
need an adult.
When I finished writing it, I took a second. I had like a 30-second breather. I was like, okay, you need to read these pages because I feel like this is not good. It
was delightful, but it was horrible.
I went on a journey of self-introspection.
So I was telling this to Becky because after I finished writing it, I had to go run and do an errand. And I was talking to her on the phone. I was like, I feel like if I didn't have to stop it every 30 seconds to write it, and if I just watched it truly just to enjoy smut, that it authentically I think would have been a funny ride, not like ThanksKilling 1. Like ThanksKilling 1 was just bad and there was no saving it, but there are moments in ThanksKilling 3 where if you just view it as satirical of its genre that you can kind of get away with it, but it definitely deserves its 2.5 out of 10 on IMDb. You know?
It definitely sounds like they did something a lot more original other than why not a slasher flick with a turkey? Like it sounds like they did something purely like their own creation.
See, to me, this sounds like, here's an esoteric reference for you, like season 4 Aqua Teens.
Oh, Jesus.
Like where you just have like a putrefying fast food over in a corner that's being thrown in as the facsimile for the characters previously. And then worse than that, the Aqua Teen movie, which I was like, yeah, this is definitely the law of diminishing returns. Like it's just so absurd at some points that I feel like I couldn't engage with it, even though there are aspects of it that are funny. It would just beat you over the head too much.
I feel like this would be like almost every like slapsticky movie I've tried to get you into where I'll quote it and then you'll basically know the movie because the quotes fill in, like you fill in the blanks between the quotes.
Well, and again, there's no one who's better or worse than anybody else. Here is like taste is totally subjective because I still, at random, can break into like Me, Myself, and Irene quotes, which is not a great movie.
I was gonna say I've watched that movie like one time. I don't really remember it that well.
It's like, just because dad's got advanced delusional schizophrenia with involuntary narcissistic rage, don't mean he's a bad person.
Oh, not to derail, but there was a joke that I wish that I would have been on for last week, because it was one of the gotta be kidding me things.
Okay.
Where it was a Dewey Cox quote or a Walk Hard reference where the people losing their minds. We simultaneously need less blankets and more blankets. Anyway, but
well, you know what happens once you get that blanket.
You're never gonna get the blanket.
But after that, you're gonna be on dialysis.
You know what happens when you enjoy ThanksKilling, Frank? So you guys, I gave up the number lies. So you got the.
You gave up the 69. Yes.
Yeah, you're 2 of 4 here. Do you have any stats?
Where else did he mention 69? I think we only got 2 of the 4. I feel like there should be more.
I got one more number lie in there, and then one actual lie.
Son of a bitch.
But I thought that for sure that you guys would have gotten the other one because it wasn't a cheap number lie. It was something. I think I got this kind of lie from Courtney.
Oh.
Where you reference it, but then you don't correct other things in the presentation to see if you'll catch the slip up. I think that's something that you've done.
I used to do that a lot before I realized that
you could write better than we did.
No. People's eyes glaze over, so I can give you guys all the hints, but if it's more than like a sentence afterwards, people aren't going to get it. The viewers might.
Yeah.
But
yeah, look at the big brain on Brad.
You did mention at one point that the movie went back to the beginning, and instead of saying space, you did say the desert.
Oh no, they keep cutting back and forth between space and the desert, but
I have I was like I can't.
Well, the first lie was almost cheap, or the first one that you missed is almost cheap, and that is right before we were diving in. I was saying that I wouldn't have to talk about it until the Shudder series debuted, and there's no Shudder series coming up.
God damn it! I honestly, I was too incredulous to call bullshit.
I wrote that last minute because of all the dumb content that I do see on Shudder that gets greenlit, where I'm like, I could actually see them greenlighting a ThanksKilling franchise show. And the other one that you missed that was a number lie is that I said that there were 3 human characters in the movie and the rest were puppets, and it's actually 2 human characters.
Dang it! I almost asked about that, but I thought maybe there was more people.
Uncle Donnie and Tit Dirt Jefferson.
On behalf of the Disinformed podcast, I want to file a formal apology to Dr. Michael, and I am sorry that John couldn't give you better.
Well, I feel like this is the first episode that I've done since we've had our superfan Michael. In years. So I feel like I get a pass. You know?
Oh, so it's acceptable that you do number lies.
It's my first time.
I feel like both Michaels just need to accept that I'm not visual. Like I can't read, but I can watch things. So like you need to
I'm snowblind.
You need to wait for me a little longer. Like it takes me a little longer than normal people to do things that take you very little time to do. So just wait with me here. You know, we'll get there. I'll get the lies better. You know. Maybe by the time Michael over here graduates, I'll be able to write good lies.
It's possible.
Oof.
I'll be dead by then, but
I'll be dead by then.
You'll be dead.
I will definitely be dead by then.
They will award my PhD
posthumously.
Yeah.
In memoriam.
Thank you.
I was waiting for him to try.
I didn't want to try and pronounce it because I knew I was going to fuck it up. Thank you, Shane. I was like posthumously. Pastafarian.
Rasta Basta Fasta 696969. Well, John, thank you for doing the research. Because I know
thank you
it's
guys for
not to the
me.
manor born.
I'm never gonna watch this movie again.
I'm glad because there are many who would argue you didn't need to watch it in the first place. But
so how this started too, like because I knew that I had to do it, but I had that busy the weekend at work where we had our beer festival, so I didn't like. By the time I got home every night, I just went to bed. Like there's no time, and I just didn't have the energy. So I knew that I was going to be crunching to finish it on time for today. But But yesterday I treated myself because it was a good weekend, for, paying the bills and making a couple extra bucks. So I went and saw a movie by myself at 2:00, and I went and saw The French Dispatch. And it was just so fucking good, and it was scratching that itch that, I don't know if you guys have the same thing, but like I get like a urge where I need to see a good movie. Like something that's going to just like not even make you feel good, but just like a visually pleasing, like an experience.
Yeah. No, that's why you go to Big Choice.
So I finished this movie and I loved it. And I was thinking, like, when I got out of the movie, I was like, oh my God, there's so many movies this reminded me of. I can go home and I can watch. I was like, no. Nope.
I got work.
You got to watch fucking ThanksKilling 3. You got to follow up the new Wes Anderson movie with ThanksKilling 3, which they're practically the same movie.
You got to get inspiration somewhere.
Yeah, But I mean, it's all about balance, because I was listening to an Ari Aster interview and I found out that there's 10 short films that he's made that I didn't know existed. So I'm going to go watch those now that I'm done with this nonsense.
Do all of them revolve around incest, or?
I'm going to find out.
Gonna learn today.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Strange Thing About the Johnsons, it's a really good movie to watch when you're around your family.
Yes,
yeah, it's a really good Thanksgiving movie.
You and your sister enjoyed it immensely.
When you want to be around your family and think about family, you should watch that movie.
Yes, I've never been closer with my dad.
Michael, you have a story to tell about. You have a palate cleanser story.
I mean, it sounded like Shane really wanted to say it instead.
I don't care who says it. I just need. I was promised.
You were. I think Michael has a question that he needs to ask himself.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, because this kind of leads into it.
It does. Yeah.
So, how's everyone's week been?
Oh, I got
we
stories.
Celebrated we celebrated a birthday. John watched a great movie. He already kind of filled us in on what he's done this week. So
you know what?
Now, I feel like Michael is someone who somewhat appreciates his birthday. Like, okay, but I mean...
I know that you're alive in Hoboken.
I try to avoid my birthday actively. I really do not enjoy or have any relish with which I, take that day in stride. And so the fact that my birthday was actually celebrated by multiple people in person and shared with me when Michael's was a postscript "Happy Birthday, Bud" on the next week's episode, I start to feel like a bad person.
I'm gonna make it up to you, Michael. I promise.
No, you're not.
No, you don't have to. I treat my birthday ambivalently.
Ooh, look at you!
You treat it like you treat the English language.
No. I have
like
respect
it can go
for my
fuck
birthday.
itself.
No. I just don't care about it. I actively fuck the English language.
We should do what was on the
Damn it.
the office.
English.
English.
All of a sudden, I'm the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, baby. I'm gonna come over here and I get in that English language.
We should do what they did in The Office, and we should just have like one big birthday celebration for everybody. So we're gonna forget it anyway. So just get it out. Like all four of us, just get in a room. It's all of our birthdays on the same day, and just get it done.
Just play Twister.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, yes, Michael and Courtney came out and shared the evening with Melissa and I at a glorious show, and Michael had someone in tow.
I had my fiance,
Woo.
Destiny, who is still on like episode 8 of this podcast, so it's not like she'll ever hear this.
You'll be celebrating your divorce by the time she hears it.
Why do we go to the same place? I was like, the only time she's going to listen to it is when she's trying to scope through it to get all of his money.
Yep. during the proceeding, when they're filing the motions for separation, this is the evidence that will be brought against Michael in court.
Well, in episode 47, he said...
To be fair to everybody on this show, if any of us separate from our significant others, this show will probably be our downfall.
No. Not me.
Oh, it will be when they find Jonah in various doggy drop boxes,
Possible.
Well,
no, there was a
we're
murder.
Talking about divorce proceeding, not murder. Divorce proceedings.
True, that he would have to be alive for that.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Courtney, am I stealing your joke by saying there was a murder because someone was murdering them damn drinks on Saturday night?
No, there was a murder in my apartment complex last week, but I didn't do it.
Okay.
Oh,
noted.
Okay.
But yeah, someone was killing some brain cells on Saturday.
Yeah, so what the fuck? Because you guys said it as a passing comment right before we jumped into this, and that bartender ears, I perk up immediately. Like, I want to hear about people being fucking stupid.
So
Michael
was pretty sauced. Yeah.
Lost in the sauce.
Decently so,
You're-
but not stupid enough to make stupid decisions.
That's
You're
debatable.
feeling good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, it was enough that I would say 60% of the people that shared the outside patio around the Lost Leaf were turning to look at Michael and his girlfriend while we were talking.
Why?
That's probably fair.
Because they were a little loud. And
What were
then
you talking about?
an array of things. I was split between 3 different conversations, so I was pivoting back and forth between people like you do post-show.
Yeah.
Because some other associates of ours were floating around, and so I caught bits and pieces. But what I do recall very vividly is that at one point we lost Destiny, and she was not to be found, so... Because I was concerned for her safety, which I'll note Michael didn't seem to be very concerned.
I'm free!
I knew where she was. She just disappeared to the side of the house where she sat at a table and she was zoning out.
Sure. So, she came. I essentially pointed out to Michael, I was like, "Hey, I think we lost your fiance there. Where'd she go?" And he's like, "Oh, she's fine. She's just down here in the alleyway asleep." And at which point she came back up to us after he had beckoned to her, and she conspiratorially was like, "Hey, yeah, it's something pretty bad. I think I fell asleep."
That's precious.
And we're like, yeah, that's probably happened.
Michael.
And then she just hurled herself at Michael's back and yelled, "Trustful!
Cliffhanger!
Clawfinger!" Yeah. And then she just proceeded to continually lean into Michael when he's got just a beer that because this is the Michael stance when he's a little slockered, is the beer keeps getting closer and closer to his body and his face.
Well, it makes
He
it
just
easier
holds
to
it
drink.
about here.
Yeah, it's like up
And-
here, right?
Yep. So,
I don't give a
he
fuck,
refused to grab her and just held on to the beer.
I like that you guys found each other because you fall asleep standing up at a venue and she falls asleep in an alleyway, both in downtown Phoenix. So
It's actually how they found each other. That was
in the
first
dark,
date.
yeah.
Yep.
Woke up. Oh, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, hey.
And asked, "Will we get out of this little hell?"
Will we?
And then she fell on me yelling trustful.
Courtney, did you have anything else to add to this?
Oh, no, my favorite part of the evening was after you, me, and Melissa were walking away, and then Michael goes, "Hey, wait!" And then we stop, and we turn around, and Michael and Destiny, like, run over, and Michael's like, very unceremoniously asks you to be in his wedding party, and then...
they also had a little huddle beforehand because they had to discuss conspiratorially whether that was the appropriate moment for me to be popped the question.
It's fucking hilarious.
It was adorable.
So this is what it's like for you, isn't it, Shane? Like when we go do things and then you only get your mental image of everything, because I have very nice mental images of this now. I can see this very, very crystal.
This is also where Destiny was talking about now I can't understand the context with which this was given, but her daughter attempting to get all of the Victoria's Secret scents because they need to entice Michael somehow.
Well, so she got on that topic because apparently her jacket was from Victoria's Secret, and she like kept getting dirt on everything because she's very low to the ground. And first it was in her shoes, and then she was kind of flopping her shoes everywhere, and then dirt was just kind of ending up places. Mm-hmm. And then she started talking about the fragrances. And that's how we got there.
Yep.
Okay.
Your life is like a movie, bud.
It's certainly on par with ThanksKilling 3.
Yeah, arguably.
Wow. Looking forward to see what you do with your giblet, bud.
Oh my god.
Jimla?
Stick his head on a CD?
What the fuck is a Jimla?
I don't have a PhD in ass vortex.
Isn't that what physics is, though?
You just ask.
No. Well, I don't have a PhD.
You don't even have a bachelor's.
Quantum ass vortexes.
Quantum
Can
ass
you
vortexes.
resubmit your thesis about this topic?
Yeah, you should.
I don't think so.
Listen.
I would need a sponsor and someone trained in the art.
Well,
of the
Shane is
science
sober,
of
so he
mass
can sponsor you.
vortexes.
Your sponsor is the Great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. He gonna take his butt muffler and he gonna teach you all about their math vortexes, baby. Let me tell you, it's a special thing. You put the tissue paper up in your butt so that in case you fart, it muffles the sound and the smell so people can't catch it.
Shane,
That's my butt muffler.
Who is this guy?
That is the Macho Man, Ratchet Savage. Ratchet Savage.
Because he has something. He has something to say to Michael.
All right. What the fuck are we hearing?
My favorite.
Is it just him, like, breathing, or?
Yes, they're cutting between all of his comments and his panicked breaths to ensure that he has enough energy to scream at people.
And at the end says, "Yo, you get me to the boiling point."
The cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
Don't ask me why I have that on hand.
Because Asher gave it to
Because
you.
Asher gave it to me.
As always. Well, I think that we can end it with the American dream and some savage breathing. That's a great way to close out ThanksKilling 3 for all of you playing the home game. So thank you for being here and making the effort to get your beaks wet with us this evening. It was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Thank you. Yes. Well.
Wow, no one else got the pun. All right.
Nobody else
you know, we're all
acknowledged the pun.
Couldn't just stuff one in, huh?
Nope.
Just trying to get to the dark meat. But, ladies and germaphobes, as always, we're delighted to have you here. If you have not already, please be sure that you subscribe here on your preferred podcast provider app. And, of course, we have a slew of entertaining things happening over on the Tubes of You on, Wacky Wednesdays. We are back on our bullshit and contributing tons of fun. Added to which Courtney gets to find out what the fuck happens with the bees, as you saw last week. And, of course, this evening we are going to presumably get to our conclusion of our Dungeons & Dragons one-shot with Miss Jess once we finish here. So be prepared. Next Wednesday you can find more Dungeons & Dragons with us here. And of course, as always, Courtney is doing the Dark Lord's work on the TikToks, so you can find all the materials in our link tree below. But I believe that is going to officially wrap things up like a couple slabs of bread on the post-Thanksgiving sandwich.
It's toast.
So, indeed, Cranberry Man, for the Disinformed podcast. This week, I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
Give me that gravy, baby.
And in the words of Yowie?
Yomi.
Yomi.
In the words of Yowie, zippity zoop, we're out of here!